Welcome to the launcher test, this series where we check out Minecraft launchers to eventually find the best one. So far we've checked out 7 different launchers over 6 individual episodes. And I do have to be honest, we are quickly nearing the end. Every single episode I ask you guys, which launcher should we check out next? And at this point, the vast majority of recommended launchers we have actually covered already. Now, I do have to say there are certain launchers which get recommended that just don't really classify for this series. Just because they are not Java Edition launchers in the same way that the AT launcher and Prism are, for example. The ones I'm referring to are, for example, cracked launchers. I don't think I have to explain what they are. They allow you to play a pirated version of the game. And while they are immensely popular, they are also breaking Minecraft's EULA, and the launchers are made for a very specific use case. Players that want to play Minecraft, even though they don't actually own it. If you don't want to play cracked, using one of those cracked launchers makes very little sense. And another example is mobile launchers. In other words, launchers that allow you to play Java Edition on something like an Android device. Very cool that it's possible, but again, not a launcher which directly competes with something like Prism or Modrinf. It is just made for a very specific use case. Therefore, those won't be covered in this series. I might make a separate video about mobile launchers though. And there's a third type of launcher, which also doesn't really classify for this series, but after hearing some more about it, we're gonna have a look at them anyway. And these are clients. Now, since the start of this series, I've noticed that there's still a lot of players out there who don't really know the difference between a client and a launcher, but they are not the same thing. A launcher is an application for Minecraft which helps you launch and manage your game. In other words, you can install mods, change your skins, have multiple installations, and manage all of those accordingly. A launcher doesn't modify your game if you don't want to. Only the stuff that you install, that is what will be installed. Clients, on the other hand, are modified versions of the game. A client is basically a modded version of Minecraft already. And a lot of these clients do actually come with their own custom launcher, which probably makes them hard to differentiate. But a client and a launcher are two different things. Now, this is still the launcher test, which means we're checking out Minecraft launchers to find the best one. We're not checking out clients. But because these clients do come with their own launcher, I will be having a look at the launchers of these clients. Some of you have been telling me that these launchers are amazing. And apparently, there are clients out there that actually allow you to use the launcher as an actual launcher and not as a launcher to just boot the client. And that means there might be some client launchers out there which do actually kind of classify for this series. So in the next few episodes, I'm gonna have a look at different launchers of clients. I'm gonna check out what features they have, test them in multiple ways, like I've been doing in this entire series so far, and I'm also gonna check if the launcher allows you to boot the game without actually booting the client, so that it can also be used as a regular launcher. With that being said, today we're gonna have a look at the launcher of one of the most popular clients out there, the Lunar Client. The client who famously purchased Badlion, one of their competitors, and now when you click on download on the Badlion website, it will simply download Lunar. Also, side note, something which is really funny. Even though Badlion was bought by Lunar and is essentially discontinued, there is still a graph on the Badlion website where they claim to be better than Lunar. I guess they just completely abandoned the project at this point. Also, we recently surpassed the 100,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you so extremely much for allowing me to hit that incredible milestone. Still, more than 80% of my daily viewers right now are not actually subscribed to the channel, which is a huge percentage. It means you might think you are subscribed, but you may not actually be in reality. So if you could just double check if you actually are, I would appreciate it so extremely much. And here it is. The Lunar Client. Now again, I do want to make very clear that we're not gonna have a look at any of the features of the Lunar Client itself. I might make a separate video actually comparing client features in the future. Right now, we're just gonna have a look at the launcher of the client to see if it makes for a good launcher. Now, the first thing I want to say is visually, it looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, there is a big ad in the bottom right. Now, to be fair, this ad is just an ad for Lunar Plus, which I assume is their premium subscription. And oh yes, it is for sure Lunar Plus. Look at that. It will give you a pink Lunar Client logo above your head. Very cool. Not what we're interested in. 10% off of cosmetics. Sure. You get a Discord role. Sure. I have no words. Okay, so Lunar Plus will cost you $7 every single month. Do you get a discount? I think you do. So you can pay $70 for 1 full year, which means you get 2 months for free, which is nice, but still, that is expensive. I guess if you care about these perks, it could be worth it to you. Though we just want to have a look at the launcher, not actual client features. So paying that amount just to get rid of this ad, not worth it. Now here at the top, we got a ton of quick play settings. So I guess these are just ways to quickly connect to different Minecraft servers. And the first thing I wonder is, do these servers actually have a deal with the Lunar Client? And is that why they're here? Or are these just very popular servers? And is that why they're highlighted? I mean, I recognize Hypixel, MCC Island, Minecraft, and of course Hoplite. Those are all really popular. Oh, Mineville too. Yeah, okay, so they are all very, very popular. That might just be why they're here, but I'm not sure. Now here on the homepage, we have news at the bottom, which I assume covers new updates. Yeah, things like milestones they hit. Summer collection, of course, for the cosmetics. Kinda what I would expect them to highlight. Now in the top right, we got a playing as button, which allows you to switch accounts if that is something you want to do. There's also a notification center, so I guess that can be useful. I don't know what they will notify you for, but probably new updates and cosmetics and stuff like that. Now when we go down to versions, we can actually choose different versions of Minecraft which we want to boot. Now these are not regular versions of Minecraft. This is Lunar 1.21. In other words, this will be the Lunar Client. Again, like I explained in the intro, clients are modded version of Minecraft. So launching Lunar 1.21 basically just means launching a modded version of Minecraft. I don't want a client. I just want to fully determine myself what I will and will not install. I don't want someone to pre-make an experience for me, which is what Lunar is doing. Now I'm wondering, is there a way to launch a vanilla installation or a fabric installation of Minecraft using the launcher of the Lunar Client, which would make it so we can use this as an actual launcher and just ignore the whole client part. And they do have a vanilla option. Interesting. So let's say I want to launch Minecraft 1.21.8 with, for example, fabric installed. Will that then be regular fabric or will it still have Lunar's features? Oh, this looks very interesting. This is vanilla modded Minecraft. At least that is what it seems like. We do have a bunch of worlds here, which does kind of confuse me. I think these are just the worlds of my vanilla Minecraft launcher. And Lunar is using the same folder for worlds. So they don't have separate world folders for separate installations. That is an interesting choice. But other than that, this just looks like vanilla Minecraft. Which means that you can totally use this client's launcher as a regular launcher. Which makes this all a lot more interesting. Oh wait, this is also a new feature. So they've not allowed this for long. I might just be checking out the Lunar Client at the right time. I'm glad they allow it now. At the same time, are we even able to install mods through the Lunar Client? Let's click on version settings. What does that do? Okay, we're here able to choose our game version. We're able to switch loaders. The loader version is, funny enough, not loading, so that's unfortunate. But here is the switch. Use Lunar features. Something which you can now totally disable. Oh, but look at that. We have a mods button, a gallery button, and also a resource packs button here at the top. Which would suggest we can just click on mods and then install them? Minecraft is better with mods. Explore new content. Yes. No, it just opens the website with some filters enabled. That is a huge missed opportunity. In other words, you are, as far as I can see at least, not able to install mods or resource packs directly in this launcher. You actually have to go to the website, download them manually, and then drag them in, which is just how you would do it without a launcher. That is very unfortunate. I was getting so hyped. I saw they allowed you to use vanilla Minecraft. You were able to disable all of Lunar's features. And then I saw a mods button. I really thought we were onto something, but unfortunately this is where it ends. Now here on the main menu we also have a servers tab, which will once again open a list with servers. So these seem to be the same servers that show up in the quick play section. Yeah, so it's only a limited assortment of servers in the first place. Then we have a news section. Oh, come on. It literally opens the website. Why didn't you just embed this website in the client or something? Why open a separate page? That is such a not seamless experience. Also, this is funny. It says 193,000 players online. Though in reality, those are 193,000 people who have the launcher open. Only 26,000 are actually playing. Now, last but not least, we have a store button. What? No! It also opens the website. Why? It just opens the website again. Okay, so these are all things you can buy for the client part, which we are not really interested in. We just want to have a look at the launcher. Give me emotes. You know what? Never mind. $8? $8 for that? Now, last but not least, we have settings, which allows you to allocate more or less RAM. Basically stuff you have in the vanilla launcher as well. And other than that, there's not a whole lot which you can do. I mean, you have a friend list, which is cool, but of course only really usable if you use the Lunar Client features. But it's clearly targeted towards a very specific audience. And you might wonder, what is that audience, Kasai? PvP players. Players that love to PvP in Minecraft. The Lunar Client is of course a client, in other words a set of mods, which optimizes your game, makes it run more smooth, and in general, I hear a lot of players who love PvP talk very positively about the Lunar Client. And I totally believe that. If PvP is something you're really into, then hey, maybe Lunar is awesome. I don't know, I'm not gonna have a look at any of the client features during this series. Though once again, I might do something like that in the future. But looking at the launcher of the Lunar Client from a launcher perspective, I'm gonna be honest, it's not that great. Yes, you are able to launch vanilla Minecraft without any of Lunar's features. And yes, you're even able to launch a modded version of Minecraft. It supports a whole range of mod loaders, but when it comes down to actually installing mods, you need to do everything manually. Now, with the vanilla feature in Lunar being new, I do have hope that they will be adding something like a mod installation feature sometime in the future. Like, why even add a vanilla feature if you don't plan on turning the Lunar Client into a launcher, which can also be used for those who don't really like the client part? Maybe that's something they're gonna do. If they would, I would totally love that. But as of right now, if you're someone who doesn't specifically want the Lunar Client features, it literally makes no sense whatsoever to use it as a launcher. But do let me know in the comments down below which launcher we should have a look at next, or maybe which launcher of a client. And with that being said, that's gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to my channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members, and then I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, see you later, bye bye!